And here's the next one.
Oh, wait, what happened?
What in the world?
Hey guys, it's Max.
Angelica.
And Vadim.
And today we are gonna see, can the iPhone 14 Pro keep up with an almost $9,000 Pro camera?
Yep, and Max went out and took a bunch of photos with both of them, and we don't know which is which, and we're gonna choose the best photo.
So go ahead and play along with us and let us know your results in the comments.
So here is the first one. We have a tough dynamic range situation. Both of these are around 50 megapixels.
Now looking at this first one, I do like the one on the left better. First of all, because it looks a little bit more sharp, like looking at his hair. And I like that it's brighter with Better Hdr.
I actually liked the one on the right because it looked a little more natural to me, and I really like the highlight roll off.
All right, you guys both voted for different ones, but Vadim chose the iPhone being more detailed.
Good, man.
And both of these were raw photos that were edited as well. So here is the second one. This is a beautiful sunset that we had.
It's gotta be the left for me.
Yeah.
Just looking at that sunset, but look at all the wheat and whatever that is, it looks so natural, whereas like you're getting all these artifacts on the right.
All right, you guys voted for the Pro camera. Now this is actually using the telephoto lens, so not all of these are using that main sensor. Here is a selfie shot.
Oh.
I mean, I do like on the right how you get more detail in the face and hair, everything. So I'm gonna go with that one.
I agree. I really like the detail and the HDR on the right one. It's just way better.
And you guys voted for the iPhone. Now both these are actually
it's more
using
sharp.
48 and 50 megapixels. That's using the rear camera. I actually spun it around.
Yeah.
And that's just the natural blur. Here is a tough portrait with a very tough subject.
Okay.
Well, I have to say the right one.
You going with the right one?
I'm going with the right one just because all of this is really distracting to me. Well, this looks more realistic, even if it's not as like detailed or sharp.
Well, I'm actually gonna go with the left.
No way.
The main reason is because on the right, it feels like all this is blotched together, all of the little wheat pieces, whatever, where you can see like this more crisp detail and separation here. I don't know, I like it better.
I wanna hear your guys' opinion on this photo specifically. Comment below. And Angelica chose the Pro camera again. And Vadim chose the iPhone. Now right here, the blur did get messed up. And I tried my best to match everything up as far as the amount of blur. Now here is our first video. We did include a video as well, so this is cinematic mode.
All right, so this is incredibly close. I can't believe that like, one of these is the iPhone and it's doing blur insanely well. But I'm gonna choose the one on the left. I think it does very well. I like the little bokeh balls that stand out, and I like the white balance too.
I agree.
Well, you guys chose the Pro camera, and my mind was blown. This is 8K on the Pro camera. Here's the next shot right here. We have 48 megapixels compared to 50. What do you think?
Instantly the right. I mean, it's the only one that's actually like detailed and sharp. The one on the left is blurry mess.
Blurry everywhere,
All right, you guys voted for the iPhone. I could not believe that it pulled more detail. Has to be deep fusion. I added sharpening to the raw on here. Also dynamic range. It was a tough situation, that's in the shadows.
How in the world?
Awesome for the iPhone there.
That's crazy.
And here we have a shot of my kids and their friend.
Right away, the one on the right. It looks so natural, like the faces, highlight roll off, everything.
Except for the dynamic range, but it's okay.
I'm glad you guys are not only voting for detail, because you guys are absolutely right there. Here is another shot.
Immediately the left one to me.
Yeah, it's gotta be the left. The one on the right just looks blurry, just everywhere.
iPhone 14, and I did stop it down, but you have autofocusing and that kind of stuff there. Wow. We have a shot of some pizza we enjoyed there.
I've gotta choose the one on the right for the dynamic range, because in the left you could see it's blown out. All this cheese detail is blown out.
I had to kick up the ISO quite a bit too because it was dark in there.
It's gotta be the right for sure.
Oh, you're smart.
Okay, I'm excited to see which one's which.
Right.
And the iPhone.
iPhone, come on.
A lot of the little highlight details, what's retained there, it's pulled back because it's stacking multiple shots. We have a portrait shot right here.
Cool.
Okay, this is really close.
If you guys are having a hard time, that is amazing for the iPhone.
I mean, I've got to choose the left. I like the, what's the zoom length, I guess, where you see a lot more on the right side. I like it more on the left, and you can see all the micro hairs and stuff.
That's my reason for choosing
That's
the left
how you
one.
know. Those are annoying if you're a photographer fixing that in Photoshop.
Because you want to fix
The
it.
iPhone fixed automatically, but yes, you guys chose the Pro camera. We have another portrait shot here. This time a wide one.
The right one.
All right, I'm definitely choosing the left one actually because I'm seeing a lot more detail in like the clothing. It's very, very sharp. And on top of that, if you look at the concrete, you actually get the lines and the HDR comes out, where this is all blown out and it's kind of soft.
That's true. The right one is blown out. The reason I picked it is because the subjects, they just pop out more to me.
And here, the whole image, the whole lighting was very flat. I had to bring up the highlights for them not to be crazy flat, because the iPhone does bring up highlights, but it also has that HDR. All right, guys, we have another video here.
Oh.
Whoa, why is it not?
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously the left wins. The right is terrible.
The sky was bright. We had the sun coming
And it's
out. It
blown
was a
out,
very
yeah.
hard HDR
Yeah, and
situation.
it's blown out. Wow, all of this. That looks really good.
Jeez.
All right, the iPhone 1.
Dang.
Now with the Sony,
That's
with
crazy.
all of these, the stabilization sucks. This is actually a vertical video, and vertical video stabilization is horrendous. I tried to fix it in post, and you know, the 8K is just not worth it there. Now, one of the ways pro cameras always beat iPhones is audio quality, because by standard, pros will always use either external audio recording or use a wireless solution like the Lark M1 from our sponsor Hollyland Tech, which plugs directly into the camera. Just listen to this difference.
This is the microphone quality using just the iPhone 14 Pro.
This is the microphone quality of the Pro camera using the Lark M1.
But thankfully, Hollyland's brand new Lark C1 comes with a choice of a Lightning or USB Type-C port for smartphones, including the cool charging case, which keeps your receiver and transmitter charged up for up to 32 hours of battery life. So you can basically plug the receiver into your iPhone's port and clip the transmitters onto the shirts of your subjects, which is perfect for interviews. Just check out the sound quality improvements.
This is the microphone quality using just the iPhone 14 Pro.
This is the microphone quality using the Lark C1 with the iPhone. This is the microphone quality using the Lark C1 with the iPhone.
And yes, it sounds that good because it supports active noise cancellation, making it the perfect plug-and-play audio solution for anybody recording videos. So check out both the Lark C1 and M1 using links below for 10% off using the code MAXTECH. All right, we have a macro shot here.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
you can only choose the right. It's the only one that's like looks very sharp and detailed. The right one, for sure.
I hate how the background is really distracting, but if we just look at the subjects, definitely the right one.
Yeah.
All right, that is the iPhone. This is the macro mode with the ultra wide. With the Sony, I zoomed out. This is at like f16 in order to get more stuff in focus without using a dedicated ultra wide macro, which is rare. We have this shot right here. Tough lighting, lots of detail.
Wow, so similar.
With both of these, I had to push the shadows up because they were really dark, even on the iPhone.
I feel like I'm seeing a lot of detail, contrast, saturation, like everything just really stands out with this whole statue or whatever. I like the right one.
I think I'm gonna agree because the left one does look a little bit flat as well, so.
You guys chose the Sony. And I will say, when I was editing
So
these,
close.
on one computer looks one way, on the phone looks another way. On this laptop, even though it's Apple, looks different as well, which is very frustrating. But here we have another selfie.
It's gotta be the left. That looks killer. Like, look at the
really
bokeh
good.
balls, natural blur, everything. It's gotta be the left.
That is the Sony. I was trying to match up the f-stops. I guess here, I didn't. This is using the front-facing camera, and it looks way worse as far as detail and other things. Here we have a shot. When I was walking, it looked beautiful to my eyes, so I took the best photo I could with each one.
Huh.
The left, easily. Looks so much better.
Yeah, I don't really like how on the right, a lot of the detail is crushed.
The left is the Sony. Now with the right one, I used the ultra wide because that's what my eyes saw, the super tall trees, but unfortunately the ultra wide does not have the 48 megapixel detail and dynamic range with that great sensor, so maybe next year. Here we have a zoom shot,
Gotta go with the left
Yeah,
one.
it has to be the left.
Detail.
Much, much better.
and you guys chose the iPhone.
What?
Now, a lot of people say you don't need a crazy telephoto. You have 50 megapixels, zoom in all the way, which this is all the way, and crop. But the iPhone, even without the special zoom lens, makes it look better. Here we have a shot. I won't say what.
I mean, it's the right, easily. It's better HDR, where you can see more detail in the plane, and detail, sharpness, everything.
And we have another one for the iPhone. Now here's the original image. This is a crop of the 48 megapixel, and I couldn't push the HDR that much or else everything else looked weird. Whereas in the crop, the iPhone actually boosts up those highlights and makes it look more dynamic, which is hard to do in post. Here we have a portrait shot. My kids really wanted to play pickleball when they were watching.
The left one looks very natural to me. I'm going with that one.
Yep, I'm also gonna go with the left one because on the right you can see some areas where the blur just cuts out around the edges and looks a little bit weird.
Makes it a little off.
Yeah, so left.
And there's a win for our Sony with the iPhone. Even though the portrait mode's great, in a situation like this, it's way too hard. Here we have a shot of this tree.
For me, left.
Yeah,
instantly.
me too. I love the exposure. I love how the sun is bleeding through the trees. Looks
like
really nice.
You can see the detail of these.
Yeah,
it's not,
that's true. It's not crushed.
Yep.
You guys voted for the Sony, and surprisingly, this shows that not every situation the iPhone wins in dynamic range, especially when there's so much detail there and stuff behind it. Here we have a zoom shot with the faraway playground. My kids wanted to play, but we couldn't. We had to take photos.
This one's really tough because I like the depth of the left one.
Yep.
However, there's a lot of areas that are blown out here, where on the right, there's more detail. You actually have HDR that works well there, so.
I'm gonna give it to the right.
Right.
I'm very surprised you guys chose the iPhone because there's a lot of detail. Looks a little crunchier to me, but this is a 12 megapixel lens, 3x, not the main one.
Wow.
And here we have the Coeur d'Alene Resort.
Well, definitely right.
Right one, yeah. A lot more detail, very sharp.
And you guys chose the iPhone. This is a crop of the 48 and 50 megapixels. Once again, the iPhone brings up the highlights with its HDR, even with the 48 megapixel, looks great. And here's a portrait shot testing out the toughest situation. We have stuff in the foreground and background.
Okay, the one on the right looks super natural.
Wow, I'm surprised by how good they are because even
really
the foreground on both of them.
Yeah.
I know.
I've got to go with the left one actually. I like that one.
This is insane how close these are.
Really close. I'm going with the left.
All right, we have the left iPhone is what Vadim chose.
Jeez, that's good.
I cannot believe, this makes me happy that I shoot most of my photos with an iPhone. Here's a more normal standard shot with some HDR.
Man, they're so similar, but I'm going with the left simply because of, I don't know, the better exposure. It's brighter, the carousel sign with the highlights, I like it.
The very first thought I had was left just because it stood out more to me, but they're really similar.
And that is the iPhone once again. Now a shot for my watch.
It's the right.
It's the right.
Easily, like, look at all the texture.
Everything.
Nice and focused. That's nice.
That is the iPhone once again.
Come on, what's going on?
This is using the macro mode.
Wow.
And this is inside. This shot right here doesn't look detailed because I had to do a ton of denoising because it was like ISO, I don't know, 20,000 or something like that. And yeah, here we have a tough lighting situation at church.
It's gotta be the right one. Just all the detail.
That's a good point. If you look at the right, you see all the people that are actually sharp. Details here, it's all just blurry and smeared out. Yeah, it's the right.
That one is the iPhone once again.
Man.
But what about this one?
Okay, left.
Oh, dang.
Left, look at that.
Yep.
Better HDR, nice and natural. I love that.
Actually, no HDR because that is the Sony. The iPhone with that telephoto, it can't compete. The previous shot right here, this is 48 megapixel raw, edited with deep fusion, all of that stuff. But the zoom, the Sony's way better. Wow. Now we have this portrait shot in low light.
Okay. I've got to go with the right. I like the colors that pop out more, and I like the more natural blur where you can see a bunch of issues with the blur here. It really stands out.
The Sony there. You can't beat real blur. It can never mess up.
Yeah.
We have a shot of Noah here outside, mean mugging. He was actually, if he doesn't look excited to take photos, he was.
I'm gonna go with the left. Even though some of the areas are better on the right, like the background, I like how his face is more bright and looks even more sharp too.
Yeah, the subject definitely matters. Yep, left.
You guys chose the iPhone. Now, as I said, I edited all of these to be as close as I could. They look different on this laptop now, but with the Sony, I was risking blowing that out. It's already blown out more so.
That's a good point.
So if I wanted to bring up his face, everything else got messed up unless I want to use a bunch of brushes in Photoshop, whereas the iPhone automatically brings up the face with their processing. We have a shot of a flag here. This is a zoom shot.
The right. I gotta go with the right. I like how the colors pop more, the white balance, and in general.
Yeah, I like the right one. I like how it stands out. I like the whole cutout, even though this might be a little mess up.
I'm surprised you guys chose the iPhone. Now with this shot, and a lot of these shots, I just took an instant shot with the iPhone and I'm done. With the Sony, I would take 4, 5, 6, and here the flag was moving, so I had to go up to like ISO 20,000 and do a faster shutter speed, or else it'd be smeared. Then I had to use denoising, contrast, all of that stuff, where the iPhone is just one click. Here's another shot of Noah. Insanely tough situation, edited.
Definitely. Oh gosh, okay, the flaring is really annoying.
Oh no.
But definitely the right one. I mean, just looking at his hands,
This is a hard
everything,
one.
all of this, what is that, noise, artifacts, whatever?
Yeah, it has to be the right because just the noise and artifact, it just kills the color. Everything just
it
gets
does.
destroyed.
And you guys chose the iPhone once again. Now some people complained, and I did at first that the iPhone, even in RAW, at night, it doesn't do 48 megapixels. It oversamples, it does denoising. But in this instance, both of these photos were super dark at first. And the iPhone allowed me to bring up more so without having artifacts than the actual Sony. And now we have another video. This time at night. Let's take a look.
I mean, if you just judge by the HDR alone, like this is all blown out. That rock everything. Like you get so much more detail in HDR on the right.
What I noticed first is actually some of this noise on the right one.
So which one are you guys gonna choose? Here's the still image for the end.
Still going with the right.
Gosh.
They're right. Angelica?
I'll go with the left.
Left. Vadim chose the iPhone once again, and Angelica chose the Sony. Now, I edited the Sony to get the best dynamic range, but the iPhone stacks multiple images to get the best HDR, even though it is more noisy. And here's the next one.
Oh,
Wait, what happened?
What in the world? That's like noise
And that's
city.
not a moonshot.
Potato.
Yes, we have a big difference here. What are you guys choosing? What do you think?
Oh, this looks amazing. That looks awesome. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know much
Brought
about
up
like
something.
cameras, but I can't imagine how either of them could do that.
Yeah.
In this.
I'll tell you
This
how.
is brought up a lot.
Oh, okay.
The left killed
So
it.
left,
Okay.
guys, this blew my mind.
No
and
way.
yes, the iPhone won.
No way.
The iPhone, I pressed it once. It was a 3-second exposure. It was pitch black outside.
That's
That
nice.
looks good.
The Sony,
No.
I took like 6, 7 shots. I had to switch to manual focus because it wouldn't focus. It was so dark. This is ISO 64,000 using a 1/110th of a second shutter.
Wow.
Because of how dark it was. And then
gosh.
once I edit it, this is the best I can get.
Yeah.
Now this is using a ton of denoising. If I got rid of all this noise, he was a smear. This was the best balance, and this is not a usable
Wow.
photo, which the iPhone can create magic with LiDAR,
really good.
That is
autofocus.
magic.
It is insane. Here's our next shot right here.
It's the right.
Dang, to me the right one just looks
Yeah.
over sharpened and a little fake. I'm going with the left.
I chose the
Yeah.
apple again.
Vadim loves the iPhone photos over sharpened. I mean, this is HDR, looks natural, but that's just over sharpened.
It's okay.
Here's a tough dynamic range shot.
I've got to choose the right.
I have to choose the right as well.
I mean, look at that. It's got
definitely.
better detail, and you're not blowing out the entire chair cushion. So.
Yeah, that's all blown
Yeah.
out, and then like the flag is like way more visible.
gotta
Everything.
be that.
Yeah, right.
You guys chose the
Yep.
iPhone. Yes, the dynamic range is better because of the processing. Here's the original shot on the Sony. So I shot multiple ones and chose the best and edited, but it's just tough without stacking images. Here's the next one right here. It was crazy dark outside.
Whoa.
I mean, with this one, I've got to go with the right because the left looks like it tried to make it daylight. It's way
yeah,
too bright.
it's way too bright.
Those
Yeah.
clouds look
Yeah.
funky.
Yeah, it's got to be the right here.
Yep.
The Sony wins. There's a lot more noise in the Sony.
Oh my gosh.
I did add denoising. You could push the denoising more, but it's stacking versus denoising. And here is the other one here. This is on a tripod.
I have to say the left one because of the sky. Look at all the stars.
I agree. The left one actually has a range of colors where the right is all like greenish. Unless I'm colorblind, but it all looks like one
And
color.
it's pretty blurry too.
You guys chose the Sony. Now, I thought the iPhone would win with its long exposure, but the clouds move too much. They get smeared. The stars can get messed up if you have a lot of clouds, and we did.
Yeah.
Where this was a slower shutter speed, high ISO, but I could still denoise it well. All right, now here is the next shot.
Oh.
This must be a big crop. It's gotta be the right, easily.
I guess so.
right- yeah.
I guess.
You guys chose the iPhone once again.
Wow.
I wanted to
No
test
way.
out because at night mode,
crazy.
it's no longer 48 megapixel. It gets binned like Apple showed into a 12 megapixel. So I thought the detail would be way worse. But on the Sony, if it's that dark, underexposed, had to be edited, you don't see a lot of that detail anyway. So I guess Apple is making the right choice doing that. And that one is the last
No
shot. We had a
way.
mix of photos and videos.
No way.
Wow.
No freaking way.
All right, guys, go ahead and let us
That's
know
crazy.
your thoughts down below. You guys seem excited or shocked
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
What did you guys think
Can't
was gonna
believe it.
happen?
I thought the iPhone would get smoked, like
Yeah,
it does every year.
Absolutely.
I thought it would get smoked too, but I was really surprised by their brand new sensor and the RAW
Yeah,
capability.
what the heck?
If you're not shooting RAW, you need to be shooting RAW, because without that, this would not happen. All right, guys. Vadim, what did you
I
get?
go first? Oh my goodness.
I
Okay.
mean, or we can. Okay, no, you go first. Yeah.
Okay, I got 25 for the iPhone, only 13 for the Pro camera.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Wow.
Vadim chose.
That's crazy.
And I got 19 for the iPhone and 19 for the Pro Camera. 50-50.
No way.
I got 50-50.
50-50, and honestly, I did not expect this either. There were times where the iPhone just did a better job because of deep fusion, because of the RAW, and because of the 48 megapixels. The sensor is way better than Samsung's. If you guys have not seen the comparison of Samsung, it will blow your mind. It's right over there. Click that video, click above to subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.